Why is people getting so mad that they have to do their job? I don't get it, because let me tell you about the situation that I dealt with the other day. I was at a drive-thru, right? I was getting some food. And it was a cozy, cool night, right? I was just getting finished with my job. So I went to go get me some food at a drive-thru, right? So when I got through the drive-thru and I began to order my food, it was this young lady, right? She was in the drive-thru, right? So when I placed my order at the drive-thru, she responded, right? And when she responded, she had a nonchalant attitude, like she just didn't want to be there. Like she was having a bad day, right? So I paid it no mind. Because, people not perfect. Maybe she was having a bad day that day. And she didn't want to be there. And I get it. People are human. So, when I was placing my order, she was like, okay, that's how you want with your order? That's how she sounded. She wasn't too happy. She sounded like she didn't want to be there. And I get it, right? That was the first time I dealt with her, because I dealt with her on another occasion too. But this is the first time. So she gives me my order. My order is good. Nothing's missing. You know how sometimes in a drive-thru, which doesn't make any sense, is that you always got to check your order. You would think people would get it by now to put your order in perfectly. There's always something missing every time. I don't know if y'all experienced this just like me. It never fails me. Every time you place an order somewhere, there's always something missing and you got to check your order. Right? But this time, I gave her some grace because my order was good. She sounded like she didn't want to be there. Her attitude was like nonchalant. So I gave her a pass that day because my order was good. So let me tell you about the second time that I went up there. And I always order food at night. I don't know why, because that's the only time that I have to order food. So I'll go up there again. This is the second time, right? And this is crazy because I remember her from the first time because she had a nonchalant voice, sounded like she didn't want to be there. So I go, place my order again at the speaker. It's the same nonchalant voice. She's like, how you doing, man? I'll take your order. How you doing? So I placed my order. Remember, I gave her a pass from the last time because I was giving her grace. Maybe she was having a bad day, but this is the second time she has a nonchalant attitude. So I say my order again, right? I get to the counter. She gives me my food, but she didn't give me my change back or a receipt, right? So now I'm mad because she didn't give me my change back, my proper change back, right? So I get furious. I blow the horn, like beep, beep, beep. And you know what made me even more frustrated? She didn't even look over once I blew the horn. She just turned away and got on her phone like this, with her head down. Like I wasn't sitting out there blowing my horn. It made me so angry. Because why do you have an attitude to begin with? And you have to do your job and be professional. no matter what you got going on in your life, you don't supposed to bring it into the work world. Because I'm a customer, and a customer is always right. So, in this matter, I was right because you didn't give me my change back. So why are you having an attitude like you was going to keep my change? It wasn't that much change, but it's the principle. It was only like 11 cents. I don't know if I was just being cheap, but I have a right to get my 11 cents back. Let me know if I got a point or if I'm tripping. Because when she was ignoring me, her manager was looking at that. And her manager, she was staring at me too while she was ignoring me, right? So then her manager came over and was like, what's the problem? And I had to tell the manager, like, I didn't get my change back. She didn't open the window to see what I wanted. And I'm just furious, right? So the manager had the nerve to ask me, do you have a receipt? I look at the manager like, you know I ain't got no receipt. If you see how she acting now, she didn't give me nothing back. I need my change back. So then, the manager, she opens the drawer and she give me my change back. And I started to think to myself like, wow, people are really upset that they have to go to work and do their job. But what if I was an ignorant customer just because she didn't want to do her job? And that's where people go wrong at, because you really don't supposed to argue with nobody about spending your money because you're the customer. She just doing her job, but she having an attitude with doing her job. But she wasn't doing her job to her best abilities. And I know you get terrible customer service, but that customer service was terrible. And let me know, have y'all experienced anything like that in y'all lives when y'all was going to a restaurant or trying to order an item and the customer service was just terrible. It sucked. And I be seeing a lot of things on the news about people hurting these employees working at these fast food restaurants because they can't get their order right, or people just got an attitude. And I don't condone anybody hurting nobody over nothing like that, because it's crazy that people will hurt somebody like that, because people have gone mad. But I would never hurt nobody like that. I'm not about to argue with you about spending my money. It's just the principle. I shouldn't have to go through all that, because why you got an attitude? You signed up for this job. And I know a lot of people not happy with their life. It's like they're doing a passion that they don't want to do. But you have to get yourself out of that situation if you don't like it. Why sign up for something that you're not happy to do? Start figuring something else out. You can't mope about it and complain about it, because it's not going to change nothing. Sorry to break the news to you. And I don't judge nobody in their situation, but please don't have an attitude. What's the point of that? If you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there. You can always clock out, because if I was that supervisor, I would have sent her home. You scaring my customers off. If you ain't in the mood, don't show up here. You acting like you entitled. And that's where it's becoming in this world. People acting like they entitled to things. That's why a lot of companies are getting AI to replace the people. Because maybe they didn't want to deal with the people acting like that and complaining. Because that was uncalled for. I ain't done nothing wrong to her. You feel me? And I don't want nobody else to experience that, because that was a terrible experience for me. And I get it. You got a lot going on in your life, but I have a lot going on in my life too. But I'm not going to let you see it because I have a lot on my plate right now. I have to balance work, balance everything in life. Going to the studio, 1,000 things on my mind, and I just want to have a good meal in peace because sometimes I don't have time to cook. But nowadays, you got to make up that time because if you don't, you're going to get bad customer service. And this is not the first time that I ever dealt with bad customer service. Let me know how many times y'all dealt with bad customer service because I don't get it. Stop coming to work angry. Stop getting an attitude. I get it. Life is lifing. It's doing the same thing for me too. But I can't frown all the time. I wish I could, but I really can't. I can't afford to frown all the time. I can't afford to be mad. Because life goes on. With so much chaos that's happening in the world right now it's not the time for that. Sorry for me telling you the harsh truth because you don't want to hear the truth, but somebody got to do it. I just couldn't believe it that day. I wondered, did she ever get fired? She probably still there. And she was younger too. And it's crazy. You know, like the older generation always say younger people don't want to work. Or they always mad at the world. But why they always mad at the world? I don't get it. When I was younger, I wasn't mad at the world. So that's why the younger generation always have a bad rep. That's why the older people are always coming at the younger generation. But in reality, we need to come together and unite. But the way that things going now, everybody knows it all. You can't tell nobody nothing. And that's sad that you can't tell nobody nothing. And I be looking up so much that's going on in this world about incidents at fast food restaurants just because they got a customer's order wrong and the customer got to spend the rest of their life in jail because they made the wrong decision over an order. It ain't that serious. I don't care what I got going on in my life. I ain't about to waste time like that and go backwards because I'm emotional. People are becoming emotional. So hopefully she sees this video and this will be a lesson learned situation because it don't make no sense for you to get an attitude about doing your job. This is what you signed up for. So whatever you sign up for in life, just do it to the best of your abilities without having an attitude. Leave that attitude at home because I'm trying to add some value to y'all because it's not worth it. It's not worth it tripping, but you got some people out there that will push your buttons. But the good thing is that you can remove yourself from the situation. Sometimes you need to remove yourself from the situation. And if you're a customer, you ain't got to shop there no more. If it's getting on your nerves to the point that it's driving you crazy, don't deal with it. And for people who feel like they can't control their anger, you really can. And if you really can't control your anger, remove yourself from the situation. And I'm going to tip my hat off to you every time when you remove yourself from the situation because you know how you are. Because at the end of the day, it takes a big person to remove themselves from the situation because it's not that serious. You feel me? Sometimes you need to remove your ego We have all this ego for nothing. What's the ego about? Because you keep being worried about what somebody else think of you. And I know sometimes you may have pressure build up and people are going to push your buttons. But sometimes you got to disregard those people. Because that lady at that drive-thru, this young lady, she was trying to push my buttons. I was real angry. I'm trying to get a service done over something that you messed up about, and you have the nerve to ignore me like I'm not blowing my horn and I'm not sitting there. That's why this world is just getting scary second by second, because I could have been a real crazy customer and wanted to come in that store just because she ignored me. But I'm not on that. Some people don't have the patience for that, but I have a lot of patience. That's why I'm growing and I'm evolving in my life, because I'm starting to be patient. And if you're dealing with any situation with customer service or people that just don't want to change and they button pushers, remove yourself from the situation. Or people that just play victim all the time and they the victim in every story, stop wasting your time on those people. This is for the people who want to learn, who want to get better in life, who don't know it all. Because I don't know it all, and I'm not perfect. So don't judge me, and I'm not going to judge you. But show respect. People don't have respect out here no more. People are selfish. They don't think about the next person anymore. It's always about them. And I always think about the next person, because it makes that person feel good inside, because you don't know what nobody is going through. Because I was at AutoZone the other day, right? I had this order that I was placing at AutoZone, right? This is another time where I remember I had good customer service, right? It was this guy in there. I looked up this video on YouTube about what type of oil I needed for my car, because I was going to go get an oil change, right? I saw what type of oil I needed from somebody on YouTube, right? And a guy that was working at the register, I was telling him, right, I need my oil change and I need this type of oil. He looked at me and really did his research. And I was trying to convince him from a YouTube video that I saw, because you can learn anything on YouTube, right? He looked at that video, was like, that's a good video, but this is the oil you need for your car, because you got to be careful of what type of oil you need for your car, because you don't want to get the wrong type of oil, right? He was like, this is the oil that you need for your car. I'm not just any employee that's going to sell you any type of oil just to sell you some oil. He was like, I don't do people like that. I'm going to tell you the real. And I can respect it, because it's not a lot of workers, a lot of employees out there that go out their way for the customer. And I'm going to always remember that moment, because he got me right. And he was just putting his thoughts out there. He's like, I ain't that type of worker just to sell you something. Because people out there will try to just sell you something and don't care about you. And sometimes you need moments in your life like that, because there's so much going on in this world, crazy things going on in this world, that people are not courteous no more. So I tip my hat off to this gentleman, because he made sure I was good. Because I'm like that too. Even if you don't want to hear the truth, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to waste your time. And I can respect people like that who value their work. Because a lot of people say, but if we don't have no employees, who would do the work? But if you don't value your work and you're not doing good quality service, what's the point? Why you got an attitude to do your job? What's the sense in that? You wasting time. So I tip my hat off to this brother. I tip my hat off to him. Because we need more people like that in the world. You feel me? And my hands is probably ashy right now because I wash my hands a lot. So never mind that. But that's my take on the situation, because I just don't get it. And I don't like it because it don't make no sense. Why should I have to argue you down, blow the horn, talk to your manager for you to do your job that you signed up for? So hopefully this is a lesson learned for anybody out there that's doing customer service. If y'all don't like dealing with people, get y'all another job. And I get it. Sometimes people are going to get on your nerves, drive you crazy, ask you the same questions. It's all good. But when I'm in the right, let me be in the right. If I'm in the wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I was in the right because I was entitled to my change that I spent. It's my money. I worked hard for it. So I want the proper treatment. I want to go where I'm appreciated, not where I'm tolerated. And that's what I do every time. And I'm not a difficult customer, because if everything is right, I have no say-so. When something go wrong, I'm going to say something because I'm spending my money. Just like you. If you spending your money, I'm not going to be extra because I'm spending my money. No. But I deserve a fair shot, just like you. Show each other respect. Once you give respect, you get respect. It's simple. People make things so difficult because people don't like to follow rules. People like to do what they want to do. But life don't work like that. And once you start realizing that life don't work like that, and you can't get your way all the time, and it's about respect, you'll prosper in your life. So that's my message to y'all. Hopefully this message adds value to you. Hopefully you like this message, because if you don't, you still gonna see me again. So I'm gonna see y'all in a minute. Peace.